There we go. Welcome back to another episode of the Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast. Welcome back, everyone. I want everyone right now to go subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast YouTube channel. Follow us on IG at Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast, Facebook, Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast. Really lock into us. We got some amazing journeys from a lot of athletes, a lot of entertainers, media folks, man. A lot of folks with just real good journeys with a lot of gyms that you can really learn from, man, and really rock with, man. So really tune in. But tonight we got a really big one, man, and it's an honor. It's a privilege. You know, I grew up, you know, right behind this man, you know, our big brother, you know, P-Man. He's a legend, man. He went from Boston to New Orleans to Atlanta, broke into the music industry, and is really making waves. It's really doing this thing. And when I just want to give him his flowers now because we're super proud of him, man. Super proud of him, man. So welcome everyone. Big session, our big brother. What's good, big dog?
What's going on, man? Thank you for the opportunity, man. Like I told you before, I'm very, very proud of what y'all are doing, man, and men that y'all have become. Shit's amazing to like see it, especially from a distance too, man. It's like I can't wait to see y'all in person so I can show you love for real, because it's just super dope, you know. So thank y'all for the opportunity. Thank y'all for this super dope platform that y'all are creating and building, and yeah, man. Thank you.
We appreciate it, man. This is like the seeds that you planted into us when we was all in the projects, man. And yeah, I remember you used to pour into me, you used to pour into D with, you know, just positive energy. And it's crazy that and the reason why me and D call you a legend and have the utmost respect for you, because in the midst of all that, you know, living in that jungle, I mean, there's a lot of negativity. So a lot of people like you is rare. You know what I mean? It's rare to come across a good dude, a good soul that's just pushing just positivity, you know, into the youth. And that's what you was doing from a long time, man. But we just want to just, you know, jump right into it and just, you know, let the world know where your sports journey started and then how.
Yeah, man. So my sports journey started in that courtyard, you know, 10 Lattimore Court, right across from David's joint. Yeah, man, we would be little kids running around the projects just trying to do whatever we could do to have fun, you know. So yeah, baseball, basketball, football, hockey, dodgeball, like everything. You know, like we literally touched every sport that you could think of. So yeah, man, part of the thing that got me into sports in general was just the being outside with my friends. You know, it was anything to keep us out of the house. And then it was just the organization that we had when we were coming up with these games. You know, like we didn't always have all the resources. We didn't always have bats when we played baseball. Like not everyone had baseball gloves, but like we had the vision to like, yo, like this is what we want to do. This is what it's going to take. Let's get together and do it. And we're going to be out here until we figure it out, until everybody has fun. And then we'll move from there.
That's ill because I remember
lights go off.
I remember the crates inside the
low
hanger joints.
Yeah, yep.
Hanging the clothes, cats is running full court. You know what I mean? Throwing alley-oops. That was right behind your crib. I remember cats playing football. It was all full, in the parking lot.
That was all full court right there too. Them little laundry joints, like people would have their clothes hanging out there in certain points. But yeah, man, we were just creative and wanted to have fun, and we use what was around us.
Right. So share with us, man, just like, you know, just from, you know, like from that start, man, into what you're doing now in the music industry, man, how the lessons that you learned from being an athlete, and how's that, you know, helped you, you know, dedicate and find this passion for music.
Yeah, man. So music came from just wanting to be able to tell my story, you know. Like I would see the older guys in the neighborhood like outside rapping or whatever. Yeah, Cool Jesus, who lived in the building right across from us, so like that was a cool thing to see. We had Lean Ski from the Floor Lords in the building that Pooch lived in, so hip hop was all around us. Like the music that we listened to, whatever, it just kind of came hand in hand, and it just felt like something that made sense for like my creativity. Yeah, man. And yeah, so I don't know how I got into music. It was just something that was always around me, and it was something. And I'm gonna say, I know that sounds super cliche. Everybody like, oh yeah.
All good, all
But
good.
yeah, it was definitely always around me, man. And how sports kind of led into that, or the things that I took from sports that I applied to the musical journey is just like, man, like we played some rough games, man. Like we football
Talk about it. Talk about it.
Yeah. It's like we played tackle football sometimes on like grass that was really dirt and rocks, yo.
Yep.
We played whatever baseball with like a tennis ball and a bat. Yo, we would be running around, and like one of the things that I took from that, and that kind of seeped into the way that I create, is just like, yo, like you got to be willing to get your knees scuffed. Yo, it's like, yo,
right.
like, and also you're not always gonna get the touchdown. You're not always gonna get the home run. You might not always be the best, but like if you have people around you that kind of make you better by like their specific skill sets and their ways of seeing things and doing things, you kind of turn out having a better outcome. I don't know if that even made sense, but I'm gonna just.
No, it's all good.
That's
It's all
good. So who were like artists that like during the time where you was opening up your ears to listen to music that caught your attention and like, okay, I like I like the message that he's putting out there.
Yeah, so I mean, as far as like the older guys that we all listen to, NWA, Ice Cube, KRS-One, BDP, Public Enemy, all of that was the older guys. But like when I started seeing people like Shaheem and above, Crisscross and Another Bad Creation, like when they were like younger dudes, like making music and writing songs and being in videos, that kind of really made me see that it was possible for me to do too. So you had like younger rappers like A Plus, I think I said Shaheem, groups like the Youngsters, groups like I'm trying to think, Molly G and from Philly, Illegal is other rap group. So like seeing all these younger dudes make music, like that's what really propelled me to do it. So
So coming up, man, you know, sports and music, go hand in hand, man, and
right.
Usually music is the soundtrack to what's going on and how the style of play of what's going on, man. So in the early, like late 80s, early 90s, I mean, you got NWA. I mean,
right.
After them, I mean, you had Death Row, you had Diddy and them and Bad Boy, and then you had like a Wu-Tang, clan come out and just hit it big. Like during that time, man, what type of influence did those artists have on your experience coming up, man? And just, what do you think like they mean to the culture today?
Yeah, man, I think all of those guys had like a very strong like presence in my upbringing. So it's different eras of growing up too. So like when I was like prior to being a teenager, like all the older dudes, like they listened to the NWA, MC Ren. So like I would hear all that. And then when I was old enough to start making musical choices myself, like that's when Wu-Tang and Nas and Jay-Z and everybody was first starting to bubble. So this like 93, 94, 95, 96. So like you had a lot of the West Coast Snoop and everything. So yeah, all that kind of poured into who I became as a man and as a musical artist. And it was a soundtrack for like the childhood, like we kind of grew up with like a lot of the classics.
And then on the flip side, on the sports side, you had the likes of Deion Sanders,
right?
Michael Jordan, Ken Griffey, Alex Rodriguez, like Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa's. Like you had what's my guy? Andrew Jones. You had
a lot of Trailblazers.
All these legends, man. Tony Gwynn's, like just all across the leagues. You had the Shaqs, the Penny Hardways, the Grant Hills. So like this is your era, man. So like just from growing up and seeing them, on TV and then seeing their impact, how much did that influence you and your friends, growing up in terms of how you guys played and just what you guys wanted to be growing up?
Yeah, man. We all try to emulate those great people, man. We had I'm trying to think of specifically. I'm trying to figure out stories or whatever, but JR in specific, like he was always like really on top of the sports. Like, so like Deion Sanders, he loved Deion Sanders. Ken Griffey, so like when we played baseball, like he would step up like Ken Griffey Jr. and just knock the ball over the roof. Like there would be a few times like he just step up to the bat. Who had the illest batting stance? He would come out there, swag it out, knock it over the over the project roof or whatever.
Yeah.
When it came to like football, he would be on a Deion Sanders, so he'd come out there knowing all the plays. So like me and him, we kind of square up with like the wide receiver and cornerback situation. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like there was a lot of other friends, and then like I'm sorry if I'm missing out on specifics, but yeah, like everyone had someone that they looked up to, and that kind of translated into the way that we played with each other, the way that we sharpened each other. Like it also exposed us to other stuff. I mean, it exposed us to deeper concepts in sports or whatever. Yeah, like I was always athletic, but like I didn't really pay attention to the specifics of each players and stats and all that. Mm-hmm. But I had friends like JR and Corey and Nate and Daryl and Pooch and my brother Matt, whatever. Like those were guys that were like locked in. Yeah, right. It was super duper locked in. I was more like, yo, I can do this too. Like my guys was out here doing it, so let's just show what our natural talent and ability is, and then we had fun.
Story about I mean, I think I can't let this opportunity pass because I know JR. I keep on that. So he tells the story about the formulation of how you guys plotted to get everyone to go to Charlestown.
Oh yeah.
So talk about that, man, and just share how that vision was in terms of y'all getting together and going to one high school and trying to really shift,
create that super team.
Yeah, right. And just create a super team, man.
Yeah. So at one point in like middle school, like after Little League and all the Pop Warner stuff, we was all talking about what high school we would go to. And we was like, yo, like everybody should go to Westie because Westie had one of the best teams or whatever. I don't know what ended up happening. I know I ended up getting accepted to a Metco school like my freshman year in high school. So that kind of changed my trajectory a little bit for as far as schooling and just like the day-to-day access to like even going to Westie where all my friends was at. So yeah, I spent my high school out there, did sports out there, Linfield High, the Metco school, played sports out there. Then my
shout out to Linfield High.
Yeah. Shout out to Metco as a whole, man. Like there's a lot of cool people that did a lot of cool things through that program. I wish this is an aside. I just wish that the Boston public school system had some of the same resources that we had to be bussed away to get access to, but that's a whole different.
Talk about it, big dog. Go ahead.
Yeah, shoot, man. Like being a project kid, like shipped out to the suburbs at, I think I was 13, I might have been 14 when I started. It was a huge culture shock,
right.
It was people,
completely eye-opening.
Yeah. I was about to say it was an extreme eye-opener. Like kids had cars at 15 and 16, like big ass houses with yards, green grasses, pools and all that. And I'm like, yo, man, I wake up 5, walk to my bus stop right out here, and then when I come back home, like it's what the neighborhood was. It was a project.
How was that? How was that feeling for you? Because I remember when, for me, I started experiencing outside of Lenox and outside of the South End area was through baseball, and I remember like those bus ride was just like I would just sit there and just stare out the window and just be amazed because I'm a project kid and everything was close by to us. Like we didn't really need to travel to the downtown or anything like that. We had everything walking distance to us. You know what I mean?
Right.
And just getting on that bus and just seeing the green grass, seeing all the big homes, I was like, wow, this is life outside of Lenox. And then when I came back to Lenox, I remember I would always feel kind of down and be like, damn, I'm back here again.
Right.
Back here again. So that always fueled me as a young kid. So how did that make you feel traveling out to Mecco and coming back to, Lenox?
Yeah. So like the main feeling that I had was like, yo, like my friends should have this experience too. Like, Like I felt bad that I was like going out there and I knew people that were just as smart as me, just as capable. And that would have benefited from having access to the stuff that I got access to. But it was still just during the day though. Like, I would still have to come home like after sports, 5, 6 in the evening. I would still come back home. So like I'd still
let the people know what you played, big dog, and how you dominated.
Man. Yeah, I was all right. Like I was pretty cool.
He's being modest. He's being modest, ladies and gentlemen. Being modest.
Basketball, football, man. I dabbled in a little bit of everything, but like those were the main two, basketball and football. So yeah, man.
So share with us, man, those amazing, sports experiences, man, and to like where you're at now, man. Just the journey and maturity of growth that you've had over time in becoming, a father, a musician, and just a creator, an innovator. So just share with the people, man, what's that journey been like from you, for you, going from Boston to New Orleans to Atlanta now, and how the music culture now is influencing your work.
Yeah, that's a pretty deep question. Before I answer that, can you remember that? Because I want to go back to
we got you. We got you.
Yeah, just like the super team that you talked about at Charlestown High. So I ended up being in a Mecco school. I think everybody else ended up going to other schools. Then like our senior year, it just happened to be most people's senior year, we just ended up like, yo, like I didn't graduate from Metco. I got kicked out of school for something. And then I took some time off and I had to re-enroll myself back in school and everybody was at Charlestown. So I'm like, yo, it makes sense to go here. And yeah, like the football team had space, yo. And yeah, man, I just happened to be one of the guys that my brother JR was like, yo, we need to go here. We need to do this. Like he kind of, I would say him and like this is just based off of my memory, but him and Matt like was the ones that really kind of made me go there some more. Like, and you also had Rome who was there. Romy was there and Pooch was already there. So, yeah, that kind of
legendary migration to Charlestown.
Right. Man. Yeah, that was a dope year, and I don't think I finished the whole football season because like that was when my my mind started shifting. Like I love sports, but like I love music a little more. Wow. So I kind of spent more time like making that transition. I was doing shows around the city, battling, open mics or whatever, and I just decided to take that a little more serious. So, that's kind of where my transition really switched from being like a sports guy to like the music guy.
Was it hard? Was it hard just making that transition? Like saying, let me stop playing football, something that I grew up around the guys and gave you that camaraderie, you know, being around JR, Pooch, and Corey to just being, you know, a solo, you know, you're doing your own thing now, your music thing.
Right. Yeah. It's like the thing is that it was just me trying to explore new territory, really, but like I was still connected to the guys. Like anyway, right. JR still rapped together. We still did songs. We would go to my cousin Lawrence's spot. We would go to like this. I think it was called Jam Plan, but it was this my other homeboy Courtney. Like it was like a diversion program, like where at-risk youth kind of had access to this recording studio. And then we would go there and make songs. I would do beats. We'd go in there and lay verses and stuff. And then that kind of made it more real for me. And I fell in love with that process more than I fell in love with like football practice and like stuff like that. I would rather go sit in a studio and make beats and have these songs to come back and play for the older guys in the neighborhood and get that like, oh, like, yo, D's nice, dog, like whatever. So I was getting that response too. And that was, I don't know, it was just something that always felt like I needed to be doing. So.
That's dope. It fed you. It really was like, yo, this is the fuel. And it's dope to hear that. Cause like, you know, like whenever we're doing either sports or music, whatever, man, we just need the confidence like poured into us and to help us understand the vision. Like, yo, if they're feeling it and I know I'm feeling it, then people on the other side of the country should be feeling it. So like how did that, I mean, how does that like still continue like for you today in terms of like building your confidence? Like, okay, I can, you know, be an innovator and try this on a new beat or try this on the track. I'm like, all right, cool. That works.
Yeah, it's cool just seeing like the influence that I've had on certain artists, like propel them to be who they are and make the impact that they've made. And then like I don't want to say like I'm the most influential, but just like people that trusted me to ask for my assistance or expertise on whatever, like seeing how that tutelage and that still sharpened and still like turned into careers for other people or like big records, or like even if songs didn't come out, like just like being in those rooms with like people that you look up to and they're like, yeah, I mess with this. Right? And then
let's get into it, dog. I need you to get specific, man. Who you talking about? Who you talking about, man? Because we want to give you the flowers now, man, and we think it's important. I know you're gonna be modest about it because you're just a real humble dude, man. But you know, like now is the time on the Talking Shit Sports podcast, man. It's like, yo, this is who I work with. This is who I've been in the room with, and I'm proud of that. And like, we proud of you for being there. So share with us what's going on.
Definitely, man. So I came to Atlanta, ended up interning with Dallas Austin, and then that just put me in the industry for real. So studio with like the people, like if you think about Atlanta people at that time, like I've probably been in a room with like 92% of them. So
shout out to Dallas Austin for giving my homie an opportunity.
Yeah, but like the way that happened, it was weird because it wasn't him directly that gave me the opportunity. So I came out here, was looking for a job, girlfriend got pregnant. I'm like, oh shit. Then I ended up working at this restaurant. It was funny. It was funny, fast casual Chinese restaurant. Like fuck I'm doing that. But like there just happened to be a guy that was there. He was reading this magazine, this mixed magazine that I read too. So I just asked him about it. And then we sparked up a conversation off of that common interest or whatever. And then I saw him again later. He was like, yo, you should take my card, because I talked about like my journey and moving to the city, wanting to do like music production. Darren Polite is his name, but so like so he happened to be an accountant for Dallas Austin's like record label. He was like a CPA or something, but dude gave me his card. He was like, call me, yo. Like I'll see what I can do. I read the card, said Dallas Austin, and then it just came, and just brought me back to being a little kid, being in the neighborhood in the hallways. We would be doing our rap. So like we would make a makeshift stage outside and perform like random ass songs. We were just little kids, yo. We try to be like Another Bad Creation doing whatever. And then like I would see Dallas Austin's name in like the liner notes. Yeah, man. And then that kind of yeah. So seeing his name on the card brought me back to that feeling of being a little kid, and just connected in that way. Did time working with him. Met a few people that are executives now. Yeah, man. It's like so much to name to be specific. So I mean, it's like a lot of names aren't like. I think the most important names are people that I have the strongest relationships with aren't like people that you'd be like, oh, I know this name, I know him. But yeah, shoot, man, I got homeboys that I met out here in the music industry that are from Massachusetts, that are like super plugged in. So yeah,
that's dope, man.
So journey's 15 years. Yeah. I was about to say the journey's been super dope. I've really learned the business of music, like, aside from it just being a hobby. Like something.
So talk about that, because I think a lot of us, we just listen to music. We see it, like we go to our streaming platforms. This is what we stream at Apple, Tidal, Spotify, right, wherever. I mean, but share with us, like for the new artists or like aspiring artists now, or folks looking to do music production, like bring us into the world of the business of music, man, and how it's a tough transition, for folks to understand how to navigate it.
Yeah. So there's many facets to it. I would say like the most specific thing, like the most important thing to understand is that your ideas and your creations generate revenue. So ownership of those things is how money is generated. So ownership of a copyright, which is like a sound recording or a musical composition, is what record labels exploit. That's what the business is built off of. Having control of copyrights and being able to get the royalties from the performance of those sound recordings and the publishing or whatever. It's kind of convoluted. I don't really talk about it like in the interview. First of all,
it's all good.
I don't really do interviews, really. So
it's all good, big dog. It's all love, man.
I was about to say, right.
Thank you, man.
It's crazy, talking about the conversations that I have regularly on like a platform like this. So thank you for getting me out of my
zone.
I'm just like one of those people that do the work.
Yeah.
Keep my head down, and then when it's done, yeah.
That's lit, man.
Yeah.
So what's the vision now, man? Like what's next for, in terms of like you creating music, you producing music, shout out the artists that you're working with now, man. And just, what is your vision for your impact in the music industry?
Yeah. So, I've been working with a lot of artists out of Boston. I can Intelligent, Cube Ref, Diogenes, Jug, myself, people in the South, MSCJ, DeCarlo Tatum, Rebel Forest. But I say it's a lot of names, man. I work with a lot of different people, and producers and stuff. So I'm sorry if if I'm not naming people.
It's all good. We ain't got time to name everybody, but yeah.
Yeah, right.
Everybody know who they are. They know who they are.
Everybody, yeah, right. So, yeah, man, like my vision now, is actually shifting a little bit. Like I'm still working on music. I'm never gonna stop doing that. Like I just understand like a little more strategically how to monetize my creativity through through music. So and I was also introduced to the film world, like the singing of music, making songs for commercials and movies and all that.
Right.
And just how that's a whole different world of revenue for a creative person that makes music. So like I'm kind of stepping into that world a little more. Also been stepping into like the screenwriting and film writing. Aside from being a musician, and like this dates back to like what I was talking about earlier, just like being in an environment where like all my friends were around. We were super creative kids, like just being a creator. Like I don't limit myself to one lane. So yeah, I'm stepping into the film world right now.
Yeah, man. If you need something, if you're looking for a leading actor.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you're leading, I mean, I got you. I mean, I can spit some lines now. I can get into it. Let me know what you need me. I'll do it. I got it.
Nah, dude, one thing that you know, I always appreciate, and always, you know, me being younger than you, and always looking up to you, is like you was always evolving. You know what I mean? You wasn't just a one trick pony. You was always trying to, you was always growing and always teaching, man. And just to see and hear how, you know, you went from sports to music and now transitioning to the screenwriting. That's dope, man. That's dope. I mean, a creator is always gonna continue to create no matter what.
Yeah. And I think it's also about being able to tell the stories of like myself and like my people, yo, and like
right.
And like to also let people know that we don't go through our experiences for no reason, and who better to tell our stories than us.
Right.
You know, so like something it started off with me through rap. You know, like I was able to tell stories through rap, and I'm like, this is just an evolution of who I am. This screenwriting portion. So yeah, but like it's like the music never left, the sports skills never left. Like the learning that I got from sports, playing organized in high school and whatever, just in all my formative years, like the core tenets of sportsmanship, being a self-starter, practicing, not being afraid to get in the mud, yo. Like you gotta work in this cold from time to time. Whatever, like all of those gems that I got kind of follow me now.
Man. Speaking of your journey and all the things that you learned, man. You know, again, I know you're gonna be humble and modest about it, but you pass a lot of gems and a lot of athletic prowess down to your little brother, man. You know, we know he's I'm saying young gun out there on the field, man. So let's talk about it on the court. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's shoot depends on which man. I got so many brothers, yo. So I know my most recent brother that graduated high school. I think he went to Tech Boston. They were like city champs like 3 times in a row in football or something like that, man. It's just cool seeing some of the stuff that people say I preach about, like whatever. Shoot, man, and I don't even think I preach too much, but just like the little gems that I would impart in him, just to see him live them out, man. And that's really the most important thing for me, yo. Like we grew up on that each one teach one shit, yo. So it's like if I get the information, I rock with you. I'm sharing it, and hopefully you use what makes sense for you. But yeah, I guess the things that I try to share with him made sense to him, and he found a group of guys that he really connected with. He found he found an environment and a container to excel and do sports, and yeah.
Super man. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to Big Bro for laying out the pathway and creating that. Putting that spark in for him.
Yeah, man. I think that's all of our jobs, yo. And like everybody gives you information that you can use. Like everybody leaves blueprint information on you in some way. So we got the street stuff like that was something that we couldn't escape. Thankful for it. Like we had this the structure from sports. I mean, that was all part of our DNA as well. And just like our individual journeys, like the times that we were by ourselves, like shit. So what is it that I really want to be? Like, and just like we put all those together and then it turns out to make us who we are, So.
Speaking of who we are now, man, I want you to plug it. I want you to talk about this, tell the folks where they can find your brand, man. I mean, like you're an entrepreneur, share with folks, what's your brand, what it's all about, and its impact and where people can find you.
Yeah, man. So if you're looking to follow me, I'm on Instagram, Big Session. That's the main thing. But the brand is September, just based off of the name Session. And Boston, the school year starts in September. And I kind of use that month as a way, like, what can I brand? I'm really trying to make the McDonald's arches of whatever. So like I'm using my name Session with a month that's always gonna happen. Like it's like you can't get away from September. So I want you to think of the brand when you think of the month. And yeah, man, part of that, like the S is the main logo. I think I got some.
Yeah, man. Show us, man. What's popping?
Yeah. So like these are some of the hats or whatever. Like I'm downstairs in my what is this? I guess this is where
your man cave.
Yeah. Right. I was about to say this is the laboratory. You got the studio down here and like the clothing studio where I put pieces and stuff together and just test things out. But yeah, like the brand is using the letter S for whatever it is. So it's success. The S is for struggle brings strength or whatever. S is for whatever. So like that's pretty much the idea behind the brand. September is the month that school starts. I wanted to give myself a reason or like a time to put out music and share about artists that I believe in, people that I work with for that specific month. I don't feel like I'm doing a good job with explaining this.
Nah, it's all good, big dog.
Yeah.
You got anything dropping this September?
Oh yeah. Music. I was about to say I got a few songs that I'm particularly dropping. Some collaborations that'll be dropping. All of that's gonna be on my Instagram. I might put out some other projects that I've been kind of sitting on, but like the month of September is definitely the month where I release things. Ultimately, I want it to be a like kind of like a Woodstock or like a OVO fest.
Right.
So that's the main vision for it, to be a music festival, a way that we can give back to the community, and just like preach entrepreneurialism and creativity in our community, really. So
that's necessary. It's needed, and I think that's the wave now, man. Everyone's on it, man. I think the pandemic, I think it's given everyone a chance to just think about how they can make their best impact and live their best lives, man. I think entrepreneurship has given folks an avenue to like, I can be something. It's not just a 9 to 5. I can be something. I can do something. Let me focus my energy towards this, man. So we salute you, man. We salute September. We salute you as an artist, as a creator, and now as a writer. Jumping into film and commercials, man. That's major. That's one of the premier ways to influence a generation.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I still remember commercials from Super Bowls when I was 6, 7, 10 years old. I mean, sneaker commercials. Like I remember, the Barkley kicks. Like when they had a commercial with Barkley, I remember the pennies when they were popping. I mean, the Iversons, like his whole thing with Reebok, like Jadakiss, like who don't remember that?
Him and Kiss.
Who don't remember that? Like the crowd, like it's a wild thing, man. So that's super dope that you're really tapping into that, man. And however we can support you, big dog. I mean, we're here for you, man.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
I mean, so before we get you out of there, man, I definitely want to pivot, man, just in terms of like total impact in the sports world and how the sports and music go together, man. You know, Jay-Z started Rock Nation, you know, in terms of representing, you know, athletes in that space and making sure that, you know, their interests and their goals and dreams are lived out, man, in terms of securing generational wealth, man. So how do you feel about, you know, someone who's done built such an amazing career in the music industry, transferring those skills over to the sports industry and vice versa, like just having an impact? And like even LeBron, he's doing it in the film industry. So like talk about like how those things go hand in hand and what you think of it.
Yeah, man. Those are guys that I feel is like really understand the importance of taking ownership of your labor, yo. Like that's that sweat equity that you put in on the court is worth more than what you get from being on the court. And like that sweat equity that you put into your musical grind, like the trials and tribulations that you go through as an artist, like it's worth more than that. So I think they really got a good handle on the bridging between like the media and the it's like the money that's attached to it, right? And like I think it's important that we start owning our creativity and our labor, you know. So I mean, right. I think sports as fun as it is still a form of like labor or corporation. Music, it's like we're producing a product. So to have people that kind of excel in those two fields, taking ownership like over it and like serving as mentors to like younger cats that are coming in. I think that's super dope that they're doing that and that they're excelling in that world too. Right. Just shows the power of the influence that they had in their particular field, and that it like branches into other facets.
Right. And speak about you know, another thing I want to get your insight on, man, is just athletes, you know, dabbling in music. You know, like we've had a whole bunch of athletes who have tried music, have tried and failed, and some folks who actually had a good impact, man. You got Shaq, you know, Kobe, Iverson, you know, Steven Jackson, Ron Artest, and I think even today's world, man, you got the Oladipos, Victor Oladipo, and then you got
Dame Dollar,
Dame Lillard, who's really getting to it, like who's really respected like for his craft. So like, and guys who are taking it seriously. So how do you feel about guys, athletes pursuing their music interests?
Yeah, man. Like, I think a common theme is that they all run side by side, yo. And there's certain people that like take the craft a little more serious, like a person like Dame Lillard who takes basketball super seriously and the craft of art really seriously.
All right.
I would really say it just depends on the level of dedication that you're willing to give to it. I know for myself, like I had a choice at this like point in time, like, yo, like, do I want to continue to play sports or do I want to transfer into the music? And I made that decision. For other people, like a lot of people still want to do both, and that's cool. If they're good at it, that's even better. Like if they're not that good, I mean, they just got to put in more time in the gym, really. Right. I mean, I don't really see it. I don't really see it as a negative unless it's on some gimmicky, like corny shit. If it's disrespecting the craft, then it's like, all right, like this is straight.
No need for you to do
it. Yeah. It's like for myself personally, I didn't want to disrespect the craft of football or basketball when I made that transition. Like, yo, like this is what I want to dedicate my energy toward, and I took that serious.
That's super dope. That's dope that you had that mindset to see that, to make that type of decision. Like, yo, like there are so many other people that take this super seriously. My heart is not all the way in this. Yeah, I mean, I can do it, but it's my heart not only in this. Let me step away, man. That's super dope and mature, you, man. Another
make
thing I want to
space
get.
for the guy. Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna say you got to make space for the people that love it. Like,
right.
It's like in the way that I kind of is. I think it's something from the neighborhood too. Like, it's like if you're gonna do it, you got to do it all the way and do it very, very hard. So whether it's sports, like there's guys that did sports, there are people that did academics, there are people that did the streets very hard. Like it was no like
in between.
Yeah. So that might just be something that we grew up around. I was like, I'm not gonna halfway do this. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna. But
and it's funny because it's like, I mean, it trickles down from obviously the older guys, and then I seen it in you guys, and I'm pretty sure that's the same thing that D, envisioned, because we went hard. Because I know you went hard in sports. I went hard in baseball. Like baseball took me all over the country, different states. It was just dope because I seen you guys and how hard you guys played sports and how serious you guys was about it. You know what I'm saying? And even if it was just playing in the tennis court or playing in, in between the buildings, like we was going hard. It wasn't like we was just playing to play. We was going hard.
Yeah.
So
and like that right there is the gem out of it all. Like if you're gonna do it for real.
Right.
Do it like you love it, like because you're really gonna get out what you put in. I know that's super cliche, but it's been a testament that I've seen throughout my entire life, and like y'all were parallel to a lot of that too. So yeah, man.
Super lit, man. Right. So now, man, I definitely want to get your insight on this, man. The platform or the Versus platform, what it started, what it's done for artists that maybe weren't in the limelight or didn't have all the streams up, or just like, how do you feel about this platform giving artists old and new just the ability to not only showcase their music, but also just like introduce themselves to new audiences, right. And I guess and the biggest thing is it's bringing us together, Right. So share what you think about the Versus.
Yeah, man, I think it was a great use of what was around, like it's like us earlier, like we had milk crates and a basketball and this fence or whatever, and like we turned that into full court basketball. Swizz and Timberland, they had the internet. We had everybody at home. They had these Rolodexes of artists that they had access to, and they turned it into something that we could all culturally enjoy while we were like being on lockdown. So I think it was brilliant, and it just shows the power of like the hip hop community and just like our ingenuity in general. It was just like, like people from impoverished situations or people that come from nothing know what to do when things hit the fan, and that right there was like an extreme case in entertainment, like shows and everything shut down. Like there was no touring, people was losing revenue. Like I know people that were personally impacted, like, damn, man, like I had this tour scheduled, but now it's all shut down and I don't know when it's gonna open back up. So yeah, man, I think the Versus was a great way to kind of call an audible, and like draw up a really good play that, like you said, it's like introducing people to artists. Like the last joint I caught, like the Locks or whatever, that was super dope because that was like the soundtrack to my high school days, really. So it was cool it was cool seeing like the newer generations get hip to all that. I would just say it was a brilliant move of using the internet and the resources that they had, and it turned into like a very, very lucrative thing, because attention is currency now. So
who you want to see on there? Who are some of the artists like you think like, all right, it's time they bring the big guns out? Who you want to see on there?
Nas and Jay-Z would be interesting. Like I think that might be the final boss final boss situation. That would be the Super Bowl of the Versus. But aside from that, I think it would be interesting to see.
I would love to see some producers up there.
Yeah, right.
I would love to see, like, you have to throw Kanye in there, probably against could throw him in there with probably like Just Blaze, Pharrell.
Yeah.
Guys, you know, they put out some good, you know, they worked on some good tracks, some legendary tracks.
Yeah, man. I was gonna bring up like some other producers. Definitely.
Can't forget Dre.
Oh yeah. Like Dre, DJ Premier versus Pete Rock, something like that, or DJ Battle Cat versus DJ Quick, on like some West Coast stuff, or like even if you going back, yeah. I'm like the verses can really go anywhere, man. Like there's so many different genres, you know. Like you can, I think they could go a little more into the reggae realm too. Like that'd be dope.
That'll be dope.
Daddy Yankee versus somebody. I don't know. Playing with the Latin market. It can really go anywhere because there's so much music. There's so many different fan bases, and if it's marketed right, like it's like you got you have the attention of the people already because it's been a successful. It's been having a successful run. Yeah.
You know, just and so I do want to pivot a little bit, man. You know, unfortunately, we've lost, you know, since the pandemic, man. Last, you know, couple of years, we lost a lot of musicians, man. A lot of impact guys, man. And I just want to get your take on, you know, the whole, you know, we lost Biz Markie, you know, a few weeks ago. We had lost DMX, you know, a few months ago this summer, man. Can you just give us some insight, you know, in terms of who they were in the music industry and just like, you know, how their passings have impacted you, even though like their music has just impacted this whole world and in just, you know, our generation, man. Just like if you can speak on that, would be great.
Yeah. So someone like Biz Markie is a funny story. I was introduced to him as a little kid. And then when I became a parent, like I introduced my son to Biz Markie through the show Yo Gabba Gabba. So it was like a funny ass Nickelodeon show.
Yeah.
It just show like the power of hip hop and the impact that these people had and like the staying power that they had. Guys like DMX, like man, like yo, DMX was inescapable, yo. Like he is an era in himself. Guys like Shock G, who's from Digital Underground, who was responsible for Tupac really getting his getting the run that he had. It just put a lot in the perspective to me, like make the impact you can while you're here. Put out good energy, man. Like tell true stories. A guy like DMX, like he was telling his life.
Right.
All these people were sharing their lives and like they made impact, yo. And that's really one of the strongest things that you can do, yo. Is maximize the time in here by maximizing the time that you have here by bringing joy, telling relatable stories that can help people through the situations that they're going through. Yeah, man.
Last thing before we get out of here, man. I do want to get your vision or just like your thoughts on the importance of more people putting eyes and ears on battle rap. I mean, you know, like for so long, it was like in the beginning, it was like the foundation of hip hop, man. And it's like to see where it's at now, you know, how can people, you know, get back into it and like, and just like really enjoy the essence of battle rap?
Yeah, man. Battle rap is it's just like boxing, really. So like when you compare the sports or whatever, you just and I say, I know for me, like that was one of the first things that I wanted to do is just like battle and have the best rhymes, yo. So it's like a lot of mental dexterity that goes into it. That's similar to like the training that you have to have as a boxer. I haven't been keeping up with it too much recently, but like I know when I was doing it, it was definitely yeah, it was really cool to pay attention to. I if you want to see guys that really challenge themselves to be able to have rebuttals for like another person that's coming at them, like battle rap is exciting, like if you like boxing or wrestling, battle rap is a verbal version of that, and like it takes a lot of mental dexterity and ability and timing and charisma.
And fearlessness. Them dudes is just fearless, dog.
Because
they're a different breed. I remember buying the Smack DVDs. Like I remember, I'm not even buying them. I used to steal them from Dudley. Like the dudes on the little tables. I used to get off the bus, walk over there. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Just book it with them. It's gonna take like 2 and book it. But like it was fire, dog. Like it was just like the Murder Mooks, the like just a lot of guys, man. But that's dope, man. So before we get out of here, man, what are some things that you want to impart on some of the younger athletes or just younger musicians, aspiring musicians, producers, any type of motivation you want to give them?
Yeah, man, I would just say do it every day, like do it every day and do it like you love it. And then the things that you like, do it like you love it, and you'll definitely get love out of it, I don't even know. I really don't know which other way to put it, and like the love might come in the form of money. It might come in the form of the impact that you'll make on other people that are watching you walk your journey out. It might come in the form of just like being the person that helps somebody else get closer to their dreams, So yeah, man, I would just say do it fully and do it with love.
What you got, Pete?
That's dope. I got if you want to fly, give up everything that weighs you down. You know what I mean? Just don't get a run away from all the BS. You know what I mean? All the BS stuff that's holding you down. I mean, if you got those wings, just fly, man. Let the skies be the limit. Don't limit yourself.
Right. I want to impart, I want to just piggyback off the gem that you dropped, D, in terms of just owning your labor, owning what you produce, regardless whether you're on the field, whether you're, in the classroom, in the lab, in the studio. It's just super important to own your creativity. Your creativity is not only your passion, but it can be your lifeblood. It can be the way you make your living. It can be, it can lead you to your purpose in terms of the impact that you are trying to have. I think it's just a great way to say, to give people a channel and a platform and a way to get to their exhausting their potential, while they're here. I think, I think we mentioned it in terms of DMX, in his music, and how he, walked these streets. He lived his truth, and he owned it. He owned his experiences, owned his truth, and just left an incredible, deep impact, not only in the music industry, in the film industry, and just across generations of people around the world. So I stress that people, especially, coming from you and hearing that from you, man, that's just major. That's major. Sesh, we salute you.
Salute you, King.
We love you. We we appreciate you. Big shout out to September. I know you got some stuff dropping at the beginning of the school year for all the young folks getting fly for the school year. Holla at them. Big session on Instagram. Holla at them, man. Really lock in, man. Find your brand. This is one of the ones you need to be paying attention to. This is one of the ones that's mission and vision and value and character really will have you standing out. You know what I mean? And really being one of those ones that's about something. So shout out to you. Shout out to the music that you're making, the impact, the mentorship that you're giving the other young artists, whether it's here in Boston, Atlanta, or just around the country, man. It is a pleasure. It is an honor to be in your presence, to understand the impact that you are making. It's not only music, but writing, as a father, as an entrepreneur, bro. Like that journey, if I can give you some flowers right now, physically, I would give them to you, bro. Right. But this is how we are able to do it, man. And it's just yeah, I mean, just being from a little kid, man, like seeing you come to the house, me going to your house playing with Garrett, your moms, I'm saying your brother, man, we were all family. We were all family, man. So thank you, man, for bringing us through your journey and just being here with us, man.
Definitely, man. And I definitely want to give you all flowers as well, man, because I think what's worth more than anything is to have like guys like y'all that grew up a couple years, like y'all a few years younger than me, but like to see the men that y'all are becoming, and like we really breaking cycles out here, like
that's important. That's important.
Positioning what they said our neighborhood should only be. And granted, like we aren't too far removed from it, but like we're still definitely breaking cycles. And like, it's like I love seeing it. Like I love the fact that y'all are providing a platform that allows people to take ownership over their stories. And like y'all are shining people that like might have been forgotten or overlooked by mainstream situations or whatever. And like you get into these stories of guys who had real impact on other people's lives, man. Like some of the athletes that y'all had on the show, I remember seeing these guys are hearing their names around the city. I like to see that y'all are still connected, and yeah, it's just amazing. So like I definitely want to shout y'all out for like continue for even having the courage to like do this podcast and it not really be about y'all, but like about the stories of the people that have made impact in your lives and the people that you made impact with, so it's super duper commendable. I love y'all guys for doing it. I'm a fan. I watch it. Yeah, man. Sorry that I'm not like a super expert.
You ain't gotta apologize for that, big dog. Come on, I mean, your journey matters, man. That's all that matters. Because someone's gonna hear this or watch this episode and take one of the gems that you dropped, and it's gonna it's gonna have some impact on them. You know what I mean, it's gonna push some young producer or a young rapper,
or a person that's struggling. Like, should I continue to play sports, or or should I go to the studio? You know what I mean? And just be fearless, and you showing, that love that you have for music. Somebody else is going to watch this interview and be like, yeah, I love music too. So let me get into that industry. If he can do it, and his journey took him from the projects to New Orleans to Atlanta, and sitting down and rubbing elbows with these, producers and these artists. I mean, that's big.
Yeah, that's just crazy. Like telling a story makes me realize how dope it actually is, yo. And like some of it comes from like, I was about to say a lot of the things that you said, like having the courage to jump, really. Right. I know your gym was about like letting go of the things that hold you down, like the thing that stop you from flying, and like most of it is getting rid of those societal blocks and like that. And so I was about to say I definitely feel that. So thank you for saying that, man. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for the opportunity. Thank y'all for the platform. Thank y'all for shaking me out of my little comfort zone. Like, I don't talk too much, but like I really appreciate y'all like nudging me to get on here and speak. Right? So thank you.
It's important, man. Well, everyone right now, man, go subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast YouTube channel. Follow us on IG at Talk Your Shit Sports Podcast. Follow us on Facebook, Talk Your Ish Sports Podcast, man. Really lock into us wherever you listen to podcasts, Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can find this episode, man, and just a host of other episodes and journeys that are really important and really impactful, man. So we salute you, and y'all stay tuned, man. We got some more heat coming.
Got another one.